Hi, welcome back. My name is Nicole, and today I wanted to talk about how God delivered me from mental illnesses. I was diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar disorder in 2019. Um, I came to be diagnosed with these two mental disorders after I had sought out help for depression. I was in a really deep depression and had been declining for a while. I was in a depression for some years, and it had got like really bad, so bad that I was having certain thoughts, and I would, I, I was really big on WebMD. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know it was depression at the moment, and at that time, honestly, I didn't think that depression could affect me. I just thought, I just had a different thought about depression, a really ignorant thought about depression. I just thought that, oh, I'm too strong for depression. Depression will never affect me. But I just knew that something was really going on with me. And then when I started having like certain thoughts, I was just like, okay. I looked it up on WebMD, and when it said depression, and it was saying like, to talk to people, try to open up to people about it. And I went to two different people, a person that I was calling a best friend at the time, and a close relative, and they both told me that they kind of chuckled and told me I didn't have depression, and it kind of really made it worse. But my mind was so stayed on the fact that I couldn't leave my children, and I just cared too much about myself to want to take my life. So that's really what really kept me going. And before I move from this subject, if you know anyone that's going through that, or even if they come to you and they tell you that they're depressed, or they're just depressed. I mean, we know what to do if they're telling us about the thoughts, but if they say that their depression, never ever diminish how a person say that they feel. Because I'm telling you, if I didn't love myself the way I love myself, and if I didn't love my children the way I love my children, that rejection would have sent me right over. But nevertheless, I started seeking help, and I called the helpline, and they helped me. They helped me, and got me help. They uh, connected me with a psychiatrist, and from there I was diagnosed with ADHD and the bipolar disorder. And during this time, I was a prodigal. I was running from God and my calling. I just didn't have a desire to be in ministry, and I knew that it was something that God was calling me to do. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew I had certain gifts that I didn't really speak out loud about. I just knew within me that it was something just wasn't right with me, or not right. I'll say special, and so I was always running from my calling. I didn't want to do ministry. Wasn't. I didn't want to do ministry for some reason. I felt like I could hide from God, and I would even like doubt that He even existed at times. But He always showed me that He did. I went through a period where I just said He just did not exist, and but God was always showing up. He was always letting me know that He was there, even when I was on this high horse, thinking that even things that were taking place supernaturally, I just felt like, oh, it's just me, it's me, it's me, it's me. But I still had this faith where I know that certain things that was taking place was just, it was beyond my control. I had no control over it. Nevertheless, I got the help that I needed. I was put on meds, and it started controlling like the depression. It like I was now able to focus because I was really impulsive. I couldn't stay still for a time, like periods of time. I was a mess. I was a hot mess. I was unproductive, ineffective. Just 1 minute I'm manic, like tempers, and like I lacked self-control. I was just so out of control. It was just crazy. But anyway, once I started on the meds, I was able to it was able to stabilize me, my moods and everything else. And yeah, so that was in 2019 that all of that took place. And then in 2022, 2019, that depression actually is what made me start kind of moving back into seeking God a little. But I was just doing just a little, like just a little to get me by, just a little to make me feel better. And it got to a point where in 2022, I guess God was just like, is either you all in or you not. And nothing was working for me, like nothing. It was just like, oh my gosh. And then I started noticing certain things with my life, and that's when I realized I was really in spiritual warfare. I was under witchcraft manipulation. That's a whole other story. It was a lot that I was enduring that I didn't even realize I was. I just thought I had just thought I had bad luck. I just thought I had bad luck, and I just started moving more and more towards God, and something my life just like blew up right before my eyes. And when that happened, I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is the cause of all this. But in that moment, I mean, things were coming against my business, and it wasn't normal things. It was, and I was a really like a scary person. Like you couldn't tell from the outside, but it was a lot of weird supernatural things taking place. Anyway, my life kind of blew up right before my eyes, and in that moment, I had no other choice but to seek God for refuge. That was all I know. All I knew when there was times of trouble, seek God. And I decided to go on a fast. And the thing is, I was doing everything that, people would naturally think is the right thing to do. So the fact that these things were happening to me, was weird, and then it was out of my control. And all I could think about was, I'm doing things the right way. Why is this happening? And why is that happening? And it was so many things that I couldn't explain, others couldn't explain. And it was so much. It was stuff that I couldn't even tell anyone because I was so embarrassed, because I didn't know what was going on. I knew I wasn't going crazy. I mean, I was taking my meds, so I knew I wasn't going crazy. Well, I went on a fast. I went on a fast as a result of those things. And I went on a 3-day Esther fast, and that fast consisted of, no water, no food for 3 days. So I decided to not take my meds during that time, because the whole time I would get off my meds, get on my meds, get off my meds, get on my meds, because I just felt like, oh, God's gonna heal me. I'm gonna be healed from this. Like I'm gonna be healed. But when I get off, I would have bad side effects. I would be unproductive. So I couldn't. I would get back on, but I kept like on and off, on and off. And so during this fast, I was like, well, this can be one of the things that I can pray about. Because even when I was going through my things where I was in and out with God, I've always had, I have the gift of faith. So I've always had faith that God would do it, God would do it. Even when I was doubting that he even existed, it was like, and it was just me being a spoiled brat, really. But it was, what was I saying? It was, yeah, I always had faith. I always knew that he would come through. So I would just make these dramatic decisions and choices, just knowing that God would always, he would have my back. He would catch me. And he always did. So I would take leaps and he would always be right there with me. And anyway, so when all this stuff was taking place, a friend of mine had said to me that they think that God was trying to get my attention. And so I'm like, I'm watching my sermons every day. I'm listening to my worship music. I pray every now and then, like, what more do he want from me? And the friend was like, I think he's calling you to ministry. And anyway, I didn't take that well at all, because this is what I've been running from for years. I had no desire to be in ministry. I just wanted to be what I know now, that lukewarm Christian. So anyway, I went on a fast, 3-day fast, and 3-day, no water, no meds, no food, no social media. As a matter of fact, no phone, no devices. I shut up the whole world. I closed myself up in my house. It was just me. I turned all my devices off. I couldn't cut off all connection to everyone. And so I just gave my sons and my kids and their dad a way to contact me if there was an emergency. Anyway, so when I went on this fast, I just shut myself in the house and I prayed, worshiped, watched teachings, sermons, Bible teachings, and read my word all weekend. And there were some things that took place during that time. Some things took place I now know were some deliverances taking place. I was delivered. And one of those things that I realized I was delivered from when I came off the fast was the mental disorders. Because when I came off the fast, I didn't need the meds anymore. I was like normal. The way I was when I was on the meds was the way I was after I came off the fast without the meds. So I didn't need the meds. I wasn't having these episodes, these depressive moments. I was like, I had peace. I had joy. I was stable. My mood was not up and down. It was stable. I was normal. I was content. I was focused. I was productive and effective. I wasn't impulsive. And that impulsivity was one of my major things. I was so reckless with it. But yeah. So it was that fast that I got delivered. I got delivered during that fast. And yeah. So I don't know. I hope this reaches the right person. I hope this can, help someone. I hope this gave enough clarity on how that deliverance took place. I don't know, but all I can say is God delivered me, and I've been fine ever since. And this was in 2022. As a matter of fact, it was June 2022 that he delivered me from that, and I've been fine ever since, and I've been on fire for God ever since. And yeah, so I came out of rebellion. I was a prodigal, so I decided to come on in wholeheartedly, and I have absolutely no regrets, and I'm mentally healthy. So anyway, again, I hope this video helps someone. I was being obedient by putting this video out. God told me to do it, and I didn't want to be disobedient. It's really hard being this vulnerable. I'm hardly ever an expressive person, especially to people I don't know. So this is really tough to do, but we have to be obedient. So I really, really hope this helps someone. And if you want to ask me more questions about it, you can find my email in my bio. And you all, God bless. Alrighty, bye-bye.